Donald Trump's week just keeps getting worse. Following Manafort being convicted of 8 different charges, flipping on Donald Trump, or not flipping on Donald Trump, Cohen flipping on Donald Trump, and more pressure to flip being put on Manafort, we have more people that could possibly flip on Donald Trump. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that Alan Weisselberg, Trump's longtime financial gatekeeper, was also granted immunity by federal prosecutors for providing information about Michael Cohen in the criminal investigation into hush money payments for 2 women during the 2016 presidential campaign. This is according to people familiar with the matter and talking to the Wall Street Journal. Now, Mr. Weisselberg, who was chief financial officer of the Trump Organization, was previously called to testify before a grand jury in the investigation earlier this year. Now, so, look, he went there and testified earlier, and apparently, for his testimony, he has immunity. He's got immunity now. Now, here's the thing. You might be asking, why does that pertain to Donald Trump per se, since this was in relation to Michael Cohen? Well, here's the thing. Again, he is the CFO of the entire Trump Organization. As the Wall Street Journal explains, the decision by prosecutors in the Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office to grant immunity to Mr. Weisselberg escalates the pressure on Mr. Trump, whom Mr. Weisselberg has served for decades as executive vice president, as well as CFO for the Trump Organization. After Mr. Trump was elected, he handed control over his financial assets and business interests to his 2 adult sons and Mr. Weisselberg. So, Weisselberg is, again, Donald Trump's basically his money man, handles the finances. So, he got immunity, which could mean that they're looking into Donald Trump's money. You look into Donald Trump's money, well, you might find some interesting things. I wonder what. We'll have to see. Now, the Journal notes that they couldn't determine whether Mr. Weisselberg told prosecutors that Mr. Trump had knowledge of certain payments towards certain Playboy models and porn stars that he is alleged to have had affairs with. Now, here's the thing. Donald Trump himself did admit that he made the payments. He admitted after months of lying about the payments. First, he said, no, I don't know about the payments. What payments? What payments? I didn't do anything. Oh, go talk to Michael Cohen. Well, Michael Cohen says, I made the payments at Trump's discretion or at his direction. Uh-oh. Now, of course, he comes out and he says, well, yeah, look, yeah, I made the payments, okay? Yeah, I made but they weren't from the campaign, so it's not a campaign violation. No. They came from my personal funds. Well, guess what? Even if it comes from your personal funds, it was directed or it was intended to impact the presidential campaign, which means it can be counted as a campaign contribution. Therefore, you broke the law. That doesn't make it better. That actually makes it worse, because then you admitted it. Now, a person familiar with Mr. Weisselberg said that he didn't know that money was intended to pay Miss Clifford, who goes by Stormy Daniels, when he agreed in January 2017 to a $35,000 monthly retainer for Mr. Cohen. That month, according to charging documents filed Tuesday, and this is what's interesting, Mr. Cohen gave executives of the Trump Organization a copy of the bank statement from his bank account for Essential Consultants, LLC, the company he used to pay Ms. Clifford the previous fall. The statement reflected Mr. Cohen's $130,000 payment to Ms. Clifford, as well as an additional $50,000 that Mr. Cohen added in handwriting was for, quote, tech services. Tech services. Right. Uh-huh. No, I'm going to guess, and this is speculation, of course, but that's just the way Cohen did things. It's like, yeah, of course I'm going to grift Donald Trump out of an extra $50,000. Why not? For handling his, I don't know, dirty laundry. But anyway, here's something more interesting. Executives at the Trump Organization, however, grossed up for tax purposes Mr. Cohen's requested reimbursement doubling it to $360,000 and added a $60,000 bonus. The document said, the next month, one executive at the company asked another executive to pay Mr. Cohen's monthly retainer from the trust and to post to legal expenses. So again, now they're looking into what they're doing with their money, where it's going, what payments are made to who. And again, this spells nothing good for President Trump. Now, Mr. Weisselberg, they note, isn't named in the charging documents, but was one of those executives, according to a person familiar with the matter. Now, here's where it's relevant, right? You don't think Weisselberg knows about all the shady payments Trump's made over the years? Oh, okay, look, maybe he does, right? Maybe he doesn't, I should say. After all, he does surround himself with pretty incompetent people, mostly from his family, kind of like a mob boss does. Everyone else is a potential snake, as you can see from Cohen and some of the others. But it's my guess that Weisselberg knows all the shady dealings, and since he has immunity, is probably going to spill. And that's got to get Trump very, very worried. In fact, let me go here to the article. At the Trump Organization, Mr. Trump was known for being meticulous about payments the company made. Also saying that Donald Trump, as much as he can lie about certain payments, he knows about them. He absolutely knows. In fact, Mr. Weisselberg would bring Mr. Trump checks to sign for the company on a daily basis, according to a person close to the company. Mr. Trump would routinely ask questions about the checks and what they were for, at times requesting Mr. Weisselberg hold off on specific payments. He would say, quote, "That's too much," the person said. He knows. Look, Trump is not a smart person. I can guarantee that. But he probably at least knows where his money's going. Again, he's personally involved, signing the checks. Where does that go? What? No, it's too much money. No, give him a less. Yeah, okay, we're going to go. Yep, I'll sign that one right here. Okay. That's what Trump would sit there and do. He knows about his shady payments. He knows. He can't lie about this. And again, the entire time, he did lie about this publicly. And here's the thing. Trump is a serial liar. And for most of his life, for all of his life, until now, he's pretty much gotten away with it because he's never had any consequences. Now, there might be some consequences. This is why he gets up at 1 o'clock in the morning and tweets stuff like this. No collusion, rigged witch hunt. That's it. 1 o'clock in the morning. He is in a panic. This is not the mark of a very stable genius. He's in a world of trouble, and he knows it. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.